Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Northern Film Review. This week we have got we've come to the end of the season now. We've come to the final bits, and this is sort of like an extra add-on podcast radio show to the very end, where we'll talk about some of the overarching themes of our podcast so far, and that being film school. Should you go to film school? Is film school worth it? What is our experience of film school so far? And what you can get out of it as an experience, because I think it is a very controversial topic, and I think it's a very interesting topic that perhaps we know quite a bit about. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy. The Northern Film Review with your hosts Oliver Ellis and Luke Simpson. Hen. Hello,
Cough,
Luke, how you doing?
cough. I'm good, thank you. About yeah. How do you feel this fine morning? Not really morning, is it?
Moaning. No.
Because you've just woken up, haven't you, when we're recording this?
All right, calm down. I haven't just woken up. It is currently. I woke up at 1. I'm not particularly proud of that, but it is where I stand today, and it is where I'm going from that point to the rest of the day. And let's talk no more of it. And I was also slightly late again. I think, I almost didn't send the radio show yesterday either.
God,
oh no. Which is, I didn't tell you this before, but this is Luke's first reaction of me nearly forgetting.
It's the second time now it's happened that you nearly haven't said it.
Yeah, it's like the main part of the thing we do, and I'm just anyway, it is entirely my fault, and I accept the ramifications of what I have done. I mean, Luke, on the other hand, is very organised and does stuff on time, whereas I am the antithesis of that, apparently.
I'm normally the opposite. When it comes to this podcast, I seem like I'm like the grown up one, making sure you're on time and stuff like that.
But I think, that's an interesting sort of thing. I think in terms of the degree, I think I am perhaps a bit more clued up on things.
Oh, definitely.
I think for this podcast, it's very much it's swapped around. Roles have been reversed, which I think is interesting. I don't know. Also, I may have been drinking last night. Anyway, it is besides this point. So yeah, this week, like I said in the intro, we're going to be focusing on the wonderfully controversial topic arena of film school.
Why should you go to Why should you go to film school?
School you must.
Film school you must, yeah. So if you don't know, we go. I mean, you should know by now, but we go to Leeds Beckett. We go to the Northern Film School, based in Leeds.
Well, I think that the key phrase in that is the Northern Film School. And I don't tell people I go to Leeds Beckett.
Yeah, I don't really. I'm the same. I'm like, so what you do? I go to the Northern Film School. Oh, that's prestigious. Where's that based? Definitely not Leeds Beckett.
It is a common theme that people say. I think basically the majority, like, there's about 120 people on our course, and the majority of people who I know do say like, I go to Northern Film School. I mean, the thing is, the Northern Film School, it's got relatively, I think now, I don't know whether it did when we came in, but it has very high grades you got to get in.
I got in with a, what did I get? I got a unconditional.
But like A levels.
Yeah.
What? Ah. Yeah. Did you not get good A levels?
Well, I did a BTEC. I did.
Oh yeah, you did.
But I got unconditional, so it didn't really matter for me.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even apply to begin with.
Tell that story. How that happened then.
So I have a very interesting and convoluted, deeply convoluted story of my undergraduate degrees. To which I only don't even have one. So I left college at the bright young age of 19. And I did my BTEC. I did my BTEC in music technology, and I did an A level in radio media production. Hashtag something.
Hashtag podcast.
Hashtag radio.
Yeah.
Which I do put in lots of our Instagram posts for some reason. And I did that, and I was going, well, I want to go study music because I just studied music at college. I'm going to go study music. And then I applied to go study music tech at the University of Surrey, which is a very good school, and is ranked second in the country for music. Just saying. And then I sort of, I was like, well, Surrey's dead. Why am I going here? Let's go somewhere else. And then I was like, where's a fun place to go? Leeds Beckett, because it's kind of known to be a party university. That and Manmet. And it's and I was like, okay, well, I want to study music again. And then I studied music tech for a week. And I was like, well, this is kind of dead. I don't want to study music tech anymore because it's just the same stuff I studied in college. And then I did media studies for 2 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks, or it might have been a month. I can't remember. And then I was like, well, I can see why people say media studies is a useless degree. Just saying, no offense if you do a media studies degree, but it's perhaps not the most tangible or useful subject out there. Maybe there is some use to it. I mean, Charlie Brooker, he did a media studies degree, but he did fail out of it though. So I don't really know what that means. And then I went to the Northern Film School, and David Smith admitted me, and now I am here. And
You've joined the light side.
Yes. And perhaps why I didn't do so well in first year was the fact that I missed like at least 2 months of work.
Yeah.
Which is, you can't do anything about that.
Yeah,
But,
I think you started in, was it the second or third short film we had to do or something like that, or was it the final one we started in? So basically,
no,
in our
third one.
third, yeah. So in our first year, we did a whole semester. We did at least 4 short films. Learning different roles. It's basically getting used to the different roles in a film shoot, like director, producer, stuff like that, editor, gaffer, best boy, stuff like that. Best boy, it's a second in command in lighting.
I've never heard that before.
It's called the best boy. Now you do know.
I didn't know that. That's an odd name though.
It is. I mean, you are the best boy though. But yeah, so you joined in about the third shoot then, and I think we met in the last shoot we did. So
yeah. I think, and that's an interesting point to sort of bridge off on sort of filmmaking degrees, because they tend to be based on a liberal arts focus. So if you don't know what liberal arts means, it means you do like a bunch of stuff and you kind of like vibe it out. Because in America, where there's sort of like the basis of the majority of filmmaking degrees are from, so you go to like UCLA or NYU film schools. They have based on a liberal arts basis where you do lots of stuff and you kind of mush it in. And I think that's one of the first things you notice about a film degree is that you really sort of you do a bit of everything. And I think although we don't have a straightforward liberal arts program in Britain, it's very much Britain's way of doing it, I think.
Yeah. And it's a highly practical degree as well, which I that's why I chose it really. I've never been good at exams and stuff like that. Yeah. And cause that's why I did it wasn't even called BTEC. It was vocational in something. I can't remember what it was, but I did a multimedia degree in York College. Big up York College. But I enjoyed that, and it was a lot of coursework and a lot of like written stuff, but not exam based, which I enjoyed a lot, and that's why coming here it helped me by having that 2 years at college. It helped me think, oh yeah, this is definitely the way I want to go into it, and the way we do it as well, learning every little thing of the getting a chance to learn everything from directing to cinematography to editing to sound. It's good to learn it, even though you don't want to, even if you don't want to go down that path. It's good to experience what it's like to be a director, even if you're being an editor, because then you know how the director feels when you're editing, or you know how sound feels when you're doing it, stuff like that. So you get the best of both worlds, and you learn a fair bit, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's it's a good thing to learn, because filmmaking in its essence is incredibly collaborative, and I think that's coming from my focus in music and music production, where it's you can basically be a sole artist and do everything by yourself, or maybe work with one or two people, and I found that so jarring when coming into the filmmaking world, that everything is so collaborative. Everything you do, everything you you come into, and I think it's very much a degree where if you don't understand how to get on with people in sort of a weird way, you won't really succeed. I think, because that's a bit sort of jarring for me to say, but it's sort of because so much of it is, going, hey, can you do this for me? Or, hey, what do you think about this? And it's a lot of development and a lot of so like you have to work with.
And it's all in a small time frame as well. Well, currently we're on our way to a drama project, and it's coming to that near end. We've got, I think, a month or two to get all our paperwork done and stuff like that, and all our mood boards and all our storyboards and everything like that done. And it's like getting people to hurry up because we want to get this done and get that done before we go to our next meeting. And it's like that in real life, in the real world as well. Like when you get your film greenlit, you're like, right, you're filming on this date. I want you to get the film out by this date, so you've got a year to make it. And yeah, a year sounds a long time, but not in filmmaking words. You have to get start pre-production, then you go in production, then you got post-production, you got your marketing, you got everything like that, and when you are filming, and it's what Oliver said, you need to work well with people because you're in a small area together. You're working a long time, like working for about a year with each other on a movie set in close quarters, and you need to do well to communicate to them your ideas and stuff like that. You don't want to be there quiet, because if you stay there quiet, your idea won't come through, and then you might be the script supervisor, and then they might say a line wrong, you don't say it, and it messes up the whole thing. So you need to be a bit confident. I'm not the most confident person in the world, but you need to push it. You need to push yourself. I've pushed myself so hard during this course, doing stuff out of my comfort zone, really, and. This course has helped me do that, really. Get out of my comfort zone. I wouldn't have dared dream to do this podcast in college or in high school. Definitely not.
Yeah. Yeah, and definitely, I think I've had the same experience. I think because there's lots of stuff in filmmaking that is so sort of I don't know where I'm going with this point, but I think it's very much you've got to be sort of a jack of all trades in many ways in filmmaking, and the sort of it's just constantly sort of gelling with people and sort of morphing into the film. It's like you're a sort of a cog in a machine that makes the film, but every cog is also important as the other one. And I think obviously some cogs are better than others. Oh well. And I think and I think I've definitely had the same experience of pushing myself outside my comfort zone. I think one of the main aspects of that is sort of being in managerial roles, because I think one of the things that film school kind of pushes you to do, because there's two. We'll get onto the specialism later, but there's two of them called producing and directing, which are basically managerial roles, teaching specialisms. And I've tried to do some of them, and I've always hated the idea of being a manager or managing people, because it goes against the general antithesis of the idea of who I am, and trying to get people to do stuff. But I think it's really pushed me out of my comfort zone to do sort of that sort of stuff. But coming on to the specialisms and stuff like that, do you want to explain the process of doing them and how that goes about?
Of course. So in your first year, so for the first half of the year, you do everything basically. Like we said in them 4 short films I talked about, you do everything. You have your little lessons and learn how to do it, and then after that final film you've done, you then pick 2 specialisms to focus on for that last half of the year, and then the first half of the second year, and that you could choose. I'll only name a few because I'll always forget some. But you got directing, cinematography, sound, editing, production design, producing, script writing. I think there's some more. I can't remember. I think that is it. Yeah. So you got them around 7-8 of them to choose from, and I've always had my heart set on post production, editing, and stuff like that. So that was the first one I put down, and then I was thinking, well, what can go well with that certain specialism? I'm not a leader, so I definitely didn't pick producer or director. And I thought, well, cinematographer might help me understand certain things about editing. So like, I can learn what the camera's like, and then what codecs I need to use for editing and stuff like that. So I think, then I'll do cinematography then, because then even if I do go freelance, I know how to use the basics of a camera, and that's what I was thinking. So that's why I put them 2, and then what you do after that, you then have more detailed lessons on it. So the first half of the year, you did literally the bog standard basics of it. This is how you turn on the camera. This is how you do. This is how you record, and this is how you set up a tripod. This is how you put camera on the tripod, and that's pretty much it. Then you go into the second semester in cinematography, then you learn about slow motion, you do fast motion, you change the settings in it, and the lighting, the aperture, stuff like that. And the same thing with editing, you just literally learn how to add clips into a sequence. And then in the second semester, which I've we're learning colouring, being a colourist, so changing the colours in the scene, we're learning visual effects, basic effects, learning how to just more detailed Premiere Pro action and stuff like that. So the 2 you pick, we got told the 2 you pick, you don't literally have to pick them 2 for your finals specialism, but it's wise if you do, if you know what I mean. They said you could pick them 2, but then you could pick a completely different specialism for your third year. But I think it's best to pick the two that you got. Definitely narrow that down to 1, because you'll miss out literally a year's worth of teaching, and you have to catch up, or you'd be stuck thinking, so this is how you do visual effects. You think, I'll go from do editing, even though I didn't do it last year. You go, I do not know how to use After Effects. I do not know how to use DaVinci Resolve and stuff like that, and you're just stuck in the mud, and it's gonna go way downhill now. So
that's a good explanation of the sort of the specialisms of it already. I think like I mentioned earlier, the jack of all trades sort of thing, because when you go into industry, typically you'll be working freelance, or you'll be
working for a big production company.
But you'll be sort of the runner who does a bit of everything. Yeah. And you definitely need to learn all those skills. I perhaps hadn't done this so well because of COVID, because I was originally studying editing and sound, which work very well together, because often you'll edit a film, and then because they won't have any budget for sound, you'll need to do the sound design for them as well. And that's sort of my initial sort of process and idea. going forth, but because of COVID, I was like,
Yeah.
well, I can't do editing at home. My computer's not good enough, so I did script writing instead, which I really enjoyed. And I think that's one of the sort of the many, going back to the liberal arts basis of like choosing what you want and choosing what you want to do whenever you want to do it is really good. Because I really enjoyed script writing. I think I got quite a lot out of it, actually. I think I perhaps got more about that than I would have done editing or something like that.
Yeah, so I was going to say, because you came in not knowing much, knowing a lot about films, but you came in from doing sound and doing music production. Did you ever see yourself actually wanting to become doing script writing in the second year? So coming in the first year from a music degree, you're thinking, yes, I'll definitely do sound. That's the main thing, and probably editing. Did you ever see yourself doing script writing at all?
Well, I think no, not really. I think that's definitely, again, one of the strengths of it, really, because I was basically admitted to the course on the basis that I was sort of good at sound and recording of sound, because they tend to have a shortage of sound recorders and sound designers, and my sort of general level aptitude is better than most, I would feel. But I think script writing was definitely a fun experience, and it's definitely something I never thought I would do. And I'm so glad I did it, because writing a script is sort of, you are the basis of the ideas for you are the sort of, the seed for the rest of the film. And I really like that, and I really like the idea of that, and I learned a lot of skills such as like how to understand the formatting of scripts, how to do script breakdowns properly, and sort of getting into the mind of a script writer more. And I never thought I'd do it, especially being sort of dyslexic. Is very much a difficulty there. Although I am dyslexic, I'm not like the sort of I'm not bad at writing.
I'm atrocious at it, and
I think because I've always been quite good at writing essays, but it's sort of it is very interesting that way. But script writing is very much I think quite a lot of the filmmaking degree is it's quite good for people who are sort of on that learning disability spectrum. Especially because people think script writing, oh, that's writing. I hate writing because I have dyslexia.
It's like you think you go into it and think it's English literature, don't you?
Yeah, but in reality, script writing is such an informal way of writing, and it's such a basic and streamlined level of writing that you can just go at it if you are dyslexic. Like Steven Spielberg, he's dyslexic, and he's obviously Steven Spielberg. So,
he's a household name.
And I think that's one of the many advantages of this degree, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, because me and you both are dyslexic, so I think quite I don't want to say it because it might sound bad, but I think quite a few people in this course have dyslexia or have some type of learning disabilities.
Well, I think those are the crowds who run in.
Yeah,
I suppose I don't think the majority of our course are dyslexic.
But the people I know a few people in our course who I'm friends with who have either dyslexia. Well, I've got dyslexia, dyspraxia. You've got dyslexia. I know some people who have autism and stuff like that, and it's surprising how good these people can actually be, and how good this type of course is actually good for people like us, if you know what I mean. Because yes, I'm not good at writing. I've never been good at English. I've never been good at history, geography, stuff like that. But I've always loved films, and it's my the reason why I came to this school really was because I've always loved films, and I use films to escape quite a bit, and just if I wanted to chill down, I would watch a movie or something like that. And I think from that, I've learned, without knowing, I've picked up stuff that's helped me going through college and uni and stuff like that. So, yes, we may not be good at English, maths, history, geography, but I think a course like this suits a lot of people like us.
Yeah, and I think also developing on that point, I think although it is sort of it goes well with sort of people who are on the learning disability spectrum, it is from quite a large minority of people on this course are actually sort of I don't know how to put this, but like there's sort of people who are on this course who have studied medicine previously, and they've gone to Birmingham University and studied all sorts. And there's people who are incredibly academically inclined.
Yeah.
And I think I know stories. I know this girl who went to UE's, or University of the West of England, filmmaking course, and she dropped out of Oxford to go and study the filmmaking degree there. And it's such an interesting mix of people. Like you really do get the breadth and the width of people. I think that's so interesting. I think it's such an interesting melting pot. And I think there's a lot of people from America. There's a lot of people
Eastern Europe,
and there's lots of people from Spain, France, because it's sort of, I don't know, it's such an interesting.
Got a guy from
thing.
Australia as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought coming into this degree there'd be so many different types of people.
Well, Leeds is a multicultural city, really, and I think that's why they would decide to. I'm not. Well, the university's great. Honestly, the film school's great, but I also think because of the city as well. We are located in Leeds, such a multicultural city, that people from Spain, from Eastern Europe, from America, from Australia will research it and see, it's a very multicultural city. So I might fit in well because there's different Eastern European stores, or there's an Eastern European community somewhere and it'll help them settle in and stuff like that. And I think that's a good thing about this university as well. So yeah, the location.
Yeah, I think. But coming on to sort of the idea of like other film degrees as well, because obviously the Northern Film School isn't the only film course out there. Although the Northern Film School is quite a high ranked film school. Just saying. Which is interesting. But there are other sort of film degrees you could do out there. I think there are
Salford,
but Manchester sucks. Leeds rules.
Oi.
I don't know where that came from. There's no sort of pre-existing.
I've taught you well.
Rivalry there, but you got places like University of York, which I haven't heard many positive things about, but they do sort of the BSc, so it's Bachelor of Science instead of a Bachelor of Arts, and you do sort of like science tests, and you sort of do the even more technical, like nitty-gritty side of filmmaking, which I can't even fathom. I'm
trying to think where I'm trying to think where I went for my open days.
Yeah.
So I went to Salford. I went to Leeds, obviously. I went to Staffordshire. That was one of them. That was all right, I guess.
Yeah.
I went to Teesside.
Teesside.
Yeah. They were all right. And then I didn't go to London because I knew that's too far. Well, not too far away. It's just I knew I wouldn't get in there because there are prestigious universities such as Salford. I went to Salford, and I just, to be honest, I'm not slagging. Well, I am kind of slagging them off. I thought they were just a bit, really. They were just a bit up their own, and just you have to get these. We don't want you if you're not like, it's just like, come on, lads. Really? You're going to say that? And just they have high... I know, yes, this university has high expectations of us. But they say it nicely about it. They guide you through it. When I went to Salford's open day, they're like, yes, we expect you to do this straight away. Before you come, we expect you to know how to use a basic camera. And we expect you to know how to use Premiere Pro and Avid and stuff like that. I'm like... Well, I'm not coming here then. Who are you gonna?
That's
be
an
like
interesting because I never had that experience because all my open days were music universities and stuff like that, and going to conservatoires and vibing out there. But I think that like you said, the London centric sort of film school vibe is very much there. I think although the Northern Film School is very high ranked, the highest ranked film schools are in London. So you've got the University of Westminster, and you've got the National, which is the National School for Film and Television, which is very expensive to go to, by the way. But it is very good. You can get some very fantastic alumni who have gone there. But yeah, I think that's sort of an interesting thing to kind of talk about, the sort of the industry and where sort of the industry lies. Because I thought about this the other day when you proposed this topic for the podcast. Was like the majority of like where the big film schools are and where like they're the most successful film schools are where the sort of the media industry kind of is, or where it's going at the moment. So lots of the media industry is moving up north now, and the Northern Film
Channel
School.
4. Yeah, we've got Channel 4 here, ITV here.
Yeah.
Well, Channel 4's moving. I don't think it's actually moved yet.
Yeah.
I think the building's still being built, but we've definitely got ITV. We've got the ITV studios and stuff like that. So
Yeah, definitely. And I think with the continuing success of the Northern Film School is sort of the ramping up of the media industry in Leeds, and you can see that with Manchester. Birmingham, which is of the area where I'm from, doesn't have a very good film degree, and it doesn't have a lot of media industry space there, which is unfortunate. R.I.P. Birmingham. But yeah, it is interesting. I think stuff is moving away from London now, but I think a lot of the industry is sort of based in London, and I might move there after university.
It's like I think this university, the Northern Film School, has risen really through the ranks exponentially, really, and it's like we get some. I think some of the graduates, they won't be household names, but some of the films they make are amazing. I think I saw on Twitter that two of the third years have been nominated for student. I think they're called student Oscars or something like that, isn't it? Student awards and stuff like that. And their films are amazing, and they will be household names very soon, I reckon. And I think for a film school like us, who, to be honest, I don't think many people really heard of, like, really big names have really heard of us, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, we're such a small school, but we're famous in a way, as in Leeds. I think the film school was the first place the first film was ever shot, or not first, the first video was ever shot, wasn't it? We got told.
What?
The first ever video shot was in Leeds.
Was it?
Yeah.
Madness! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. On our open day, we got told that.
I didn't go to the open day.
Yeah, but we were told, and I think it is true, that the first ever moving picture was shot in Leeds.
I had no idea. That is a great fact.
We are history, and it's to know that we've come to the school where the first ever film was first ever moving picture was shot. It's quite amazing, really.
Yeah, I didn't know that, and I'm quite interested in that now.
I think it's like literally a train or something like that.
Yeah,
literally the bog standard bit back in the day is bloody sorcery.
Yeah. Well, I knew it was a train, but I didn't think it was.
I think well, that's what I got told by Dave Smith anyway. So.
Big
Dave Smith.
Our Lord and Saviour Dave Smith. Interesting. Well, I think I think film schools in general in Britain are coming up now. I think, although it is primarily based in America, and that is the majority of where people know of film schools. And I think also with America, there is a level of prestige.
Yeah. Because where Hollywood is, isn't it? It's where Hollywood is.
I think people like sort of, if you go to a school like the Tisch School of Arts at NYU or UCLA film school, you have that's like on the similar level of like studying law at a nice university, maybe. Because they're very prestigious and they're very, very difficult schools to get into. And Britain doesn't really have that at the moment, and the rest of the world doesn't really.
There are a few in Poland and Russia. I think that's
Yeah,
where
I mean-
didn't Alex go? I think Alex went. No, wasn't. Was it Alex? Or went somewhere in Russia?
No, that's
think.
the cinematography teacher.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I don't know what he's called. But I think she got I think it's the La Femme Institute in I don't know what it's called.
Well, Lafayette, probably France.
Yeah, La Femme Institute. I don't know whether I'm pronouncing that right at all. As you can tell, I am not from France.
You're from Birmingham.
Interesting tidbit. I am doing my dissertation on a French director, and I sent an email to the dissertation.
This is jammy. This is.
And I was like, "Hello, Stephen.
Stephen Gerrard.
I am researching this topic, and all the books are in French, but I do not speak French. What am I supposed to do?" He's like, "Well, you got to learn French." No, I didn't actually do that, but it's and again, not that interesting. But yeah, and there's sort of film schools in Germany and stuff like that. But yeah, film schools all around, but they mostly are sort of American centers and stuff like that.
That's why I'm not saying it is, but predominantly the most famous directors are American, is because that's how they get the kickoff, because they have so many links. The American universities have so many links with Hollywood or production companies that are quite high up as well. So
yeah, but then again, it is extortionate pricing to study in America. Like there are quite a few American people on our course who come to Britain because it's cheaper, and also because they just like the course. You know, because we're so sick.
Yeah, because I was surprised. Because I think he was in our the film with us, wasn't he? The guy from Arizona. We had him on the podcast as well.
We did, yeah, Marcel.
Yeah.
We completely forgot about him. And yeah, like I said, melting pot degree. And I only know that again, like I made coming from a point earlier, from doing at least 3 different degrees in my
Yeah. What I was gonna say, what made you stay in this degree per se? Because you've been bouncing around degrees, and it's a bit surprising really, because you came into this degree doing sound, but then you also have this knowledge of indie films as well.
Yeah, I'm quite a weird guy, to be honest with you, Luke.
That's why I like you.
I'm not really of the normal
breed.
Really. I'm not entirely sure why I do things sometimes. And I think I mean all my roommates are country musicians. And I've got a lot of weird hobbies.
You're a classical singer, didn't you? As well.
Yeah, he's a classical singer. That was an interesting guy. He cooked octopus the other day. I'm not entirely sure that's that could have roommate behaviour, but it was interesting. Not what I would do, but I think each to their own. I think
calamari's nice. Or is that squid?
That's squid. Yeah, he cooked that the day after.
Oh no! Oh dear me.
But yeah, I've led a weird life, and I've also been a radio show host, and I've also produced jungle music, and I've also done all sorts of weird stuff.
Yeah. What made you stay at this course then? Stay in filmmaking then? Because
my dad was like, if you don't stay in this course, you're not going to get it. No, he didn't really say that. He wouldn't say that. He's a good guy. But I don't know. I just kind of thought, well, might as well.
Yeah.
And I just ended up enjoying it quite a bit more, and I think I needed to give myself time to it, and I've enjoyed it a lot more this year, because I've been able to sort of. I think last year I joined a month late, and I was I found it difficult to catch up, and I was kind of not enjoying it too much. But I think this year, when I've been able to sort of like get into it properly, I've been doing a lot better, and I've sort of been involving myself a lot more. I think that's another thing with film school. Sort of coming on to final points here with my advice is sort of like get involved in like everything and anything you can.
Yeah.
I think I mean I don't know. And again, we haven't graduated yet, But I think the people who tend to do better in the degree are people who volunteer to crew up on other people's films.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that all the time. Like next week, I'm literally working on a BA3 film where I'm being the sound recordist, which is going to be stressful. And I did some of it last year as well, and I think I might do some more this year as well.
Yeah.
And doing podcasts about films,
Yeah.
and then writing reviews, which I tried to do in the start of this year, but didn't work out well. And yeah, just sort of, I think to get the full experience of film school, you need to involve yourself in stuff, because I think the baseline level stuff is good, but it's not all there. I think you really need to push yourself to make films and do external projects.
Yeah, the good thing about our lecturers as well is they encourage you to do that as well.
Definitely.
They encourage you to say, yes, you've got your baseline stuff, but the people who get better grades actually help on other projects.
Yeah.
Maybe hard for some other people because their specialism may be script writing and you can only write. Well, actually, no, it might be editing, and maybe editing because you can only edit really a film, and then there's loads of few editors. And you have to push yourself out to see, can I edit for your film as well as my film? They go, yes, great. But script writing, you can make loads of scripts, and then that'll be good.
Definitely. I think I remember watching this film called The Souvenir, which is a terrible film, by the way. But it's about film school, and Richard Ayoade was in it. And he said, well, one of the main reasons you go to, well, I'm paraphrasing here, one of the main reasons you go to film school is to use all the free gear. And I think, it's sort of true.
It's true, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think sort of final things is go to film school, especially in Northern Film School, because it's great.
It is great.
Also, perhaps one of the naming reasons behind this podcast. But it's not like length school. Don't sue us. Please don't sue us.
No.
I have been sued before.
Oh, God.
I haven't really. I've been threatened to be sued. And yeah.
But yeah.
Lots of weird people.
Our advice, my advice is, if you, I think only join if you have a real passion about it. If you join thinking it's going to be piss easy and just it's going to be an easy course to get a
it's really
degree
not.
in, it's not. It's really complete opposite. I really hate it when people say, oh, you do filmmaking, oh, it's so easy, or we have to do it like in my science degree or in my maths degree we have to do so many exams and so many theoretical things and stuff like that. I said, well, yeah, you're not up till like the 5 a.m. the day of the shoot trying to get people to hurry up with their with their I'll bleep that out. To get I'm a bit passionate about this. To get You're not up 24/7 trying to get people to do their stuff, like, to get stuff ready for the shoot the day after and stuff like that. Yeah. We get piled on with work, piled on with work, and I think the days are long as well, surprisingly long. People go to uni for I think 6 hours a week normally. I mean, first year we were there basically 9 till 5 each day, weren't we? And then once we get back, we've got work to do as well when we get back. So it's hard. It's harder than you expect. So I would say only join film school if you are really passionate about films and filmmaking. Because if you're not, you're going to find it stressful. Even though we do find it stressful anyway, you're going to find it harder to get motivated, and you can find it hard to do these stuff, really.
Yes, I agree. But I think, it's definitely a good experience. And I think if you are interested in films or you're interested in sort of general specialism bits, it's a great place to sort of go, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's about it. I think that's all we're going to say on it today. So hopefully you've enjoyed the show. Hopefully you've enjoyed this season. We'll be back after the Easter term.
Few weeks break.
I think 2 weeks for this show, but I think at the film school we've got 3.
Oi, oi.
Which is nice. So we'll be back after that, and we won't be doing that much different, but I think we will maybe have a little brainstorm on new ideas.
Yeah,
to,
we normally have a couple of meetings during our break just to see what we're going to do.
Yeah, if you want to make any extra content.
Yeah. Because we have ideas that we want to do, as well as a podcast alongside. So I think that might be more in summer when there won't be any podcasts on radio, which might give us time to do a podcast for purely YouTube or do other stuff like video essays we've had in mind or informational videos and stuff like that. So we want to try and broaden out our filmmaking knowledge or film school knowledge as well. So, yeah.
Yes, definitely. And I think, it's been fun. It's been a fun season. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.